Commander Taman stared at the main screen of his battlecruiser. Something was wrong. Very wrong. "Sir, we have an unknown ship on our sensors," said Lieutenant Han Wool from his station. His voice was shaking a little. It just appeared out of nowhere. Taman walked closer to the screen. In 20 years of serving the Galactic Dominion, he had never seen anything like this. The ship was big, maybe twice the size of his own vessel. But that was not what worried him. What worried him was how it looked. The ship was black as space itself. It had sharp edges and smooth curves that seemed to flow like water. No lights showed on its surface. No markings. No signs of what race built it. It just sat there in the darkness waiting. "Can you scan it?" Tae-min asked his science officer. "I'm trying, sir, but our scanners can barely see it. It's like the ship is made of shadows." Tae-min felt cold sweat on his forehead. The Dominion ruled over 800 star systems. They knew every ship design in the galaxy, every weapon. Every race, there should be no surprises left. "Send a message," he ordered. "Tell them to identify themselves." Han Wool worked at his controls. "Signal sent, sir. Standard Dominion protocol." They waited. The silent ship did not move, did not respond. It just hung there in space like a sleeping giant. "Send it again," Tae-min said. "Louder this time. Tell them they are in Dominion space." More waiting. Still, nothing. Then the ship moved. It was not fast. It was not slow. It just turned smooth as silk until its front faced the Dominion battlecruiser. Still no lights. Still no sound. But somehow, Tae-min felt like the ship was now looking at them. "Sir." Han Wool's voice was higher now. "I'm getting a response." "Put it on screen." The main display flickered. Then a face appeared. A human face. Tae-min's blood turned to ice. The woman on the screen had short black hair and dark eyes. Her skin was pale, almost white. She wore a uniform that was not like anything in the Dominion fleet. It was simple, clean, and somehow looked more advanced than anything Tae-min had seen. "This is Captain So-Ra of the Terran vessel Defiant Phoenix," she said. Her voice was calm and clear. "You may lower your weapons now." The bridge went silent. Every officer stared at the screen. A few gasped. One dropped his coffee cup. "That's impossible," whispered the science officer. Tae-min found his voice. "Impossible is right. Humans are extinct. They were destroyed too, 100 years ago." Captain So-Ra tilted her head slightly. "Were we? How interesting. We seem to have missed that event." "This is some kind of trick," Tae-min said, stepping closer to the screen. "Who are you really? What race are you working for?" "I am human," So-Ra replied. "As is my crew, as are the crews of the other ships now surrounding you." "Other ships?" Tae-min spun around. "Sensors, report." His sensor officer was pale as milk. "Sir, I count 12 more vessels. They just appeared. Our scanners show nothing, then suddenly they're there." Tae-min looked at the tactical display. Red dots had appeared around his ship. 13 enemy vessels in total. His single battlecruiser was completely surrounded. "How did they get so close without us seeing them?" he demanded. "I don't know, sir. It's like they can hide from our sensors." Tae-min turned back to the screen. Captain So-Ra was still watching him with those calm dark eyes. "What do you want?" he asked. "Safe passage," she replied. "We are returning home. We would prefer not to fight." "Home? What home?" "Earth was cleansed. Every human colony was destroyed. There are no humans left in this galaxy." So-Ra smiled. It was not a happy smile. "Commander, you seem to know very little about what really happened 200 years ago. Perhaps it is time you learned." She made a small gesture with her hand. Suddenly, every screen on Tae-min's bridge lit up with information. Files, reports, images, all classified Dominion records that should have been impossible to access. "How are you doing this?" Tae-min shouted. "Our systems are secure." "Your systems are old," So-Ra said simply. "We have had 2 centuries to improve." The files showed the truth. The real truth about what happened to humanity. Earth had not been destroyed. The human colonies had not been wiped out. Instead, they had been driven away, forced to flee to the edge of the galaxy where no one thought they could survive. The Dominion leaders lied, Sora continued. They told everyone we were extinct because it was easier than admitting we escaped, easier than explaining why they could not catch us. Taemin stared at the files. Everything he had been taught was wrong. But that was 200 years ago. Even if some humans survived, you would all be dead by now. Would we? Sora asked. Commander, do you know what happens to a race when they are forced to live in the harshest parts of space? When they must fight just to breathe each day? When they have no choice but to become stronger or die. She paused, letting her words sink in. We adapted. We grew. We became something more than what we were. And now we have returned. Taemin felt his ship shake slightly. Not from weapons fire, not from engines. The human ships were doing something to his vessel, and he could not tell what. Sir, called his engineer. They're scanning us, but not with normal scanners. I've never seen energy patterns like this. We know everything about your ship now, Sora said. Every system, every weapon, every weakness. We could disable you without firing a shot, or we could destroy you so quickly you would not even see it coming. Then why don't you? Taemin asked. His voice was barely a whisper. Because we are not like the Dominion, Sora replied. We do not kill unless we must. We came here to reclaim our worlds, not to start a war. But if war is what you choose. The lights on Taemin's bridge flickered. For just a moment, every system went dark. Then they came back on. That was a demonstration, Sora said. We could have kept your systems down. We could have taken control of your ship. We could have done many things. Instead, we chose to show mercy. Taemin's hands were shaking now. In that moment of darkness, he had realized something terrible. These were not the humans from the history books. These were something new, something evolved, something dangerous. What do you want from us? He asked. Tell your leaders, Sora said. Tell them humanity has returned. Tell them we want our colonies back. Tell them they can give them to us peacefully or we will take them by force. The choice is theirs. The screen went dark. The 13 human ships began to move, flowing through space like schools of fish. In seconds they were gone, leaving only empty space behind. Taemin stood alone on his bridge, staring at where they had been. His crew looked at him, waiting for orders. But what orders could he give? How do you fight ghosts? How do you defeat an enemy that can appear and disappear at will? Send a message to Admiral Kiwu, he said finally. Priority 1, tell him. Tell him we have a problem. As his ship turned toward home, Taemin could not shake the feeling that everything was about to change. The galaxy had been peaceful, under Dominion rule for 300 years. But now the humans were back and they were nothing like anyone remembered. Admiral Kiwu read Commander Taemin's report for the third time. Each time it made less sense. Humans, he said to himself. Impossible. His office door opened. Dr. Yunji walked in, carrying a thick folder of files. Her face was pale and worried. Admiral, I need to speak with you. It's about the human report. Kiwu looked up. Dr. Yunji was the best historian in the Dominion fleet. If anyone knew the truth about old events, it would be her. Sit down, doctor. Tell me this is all some mistake. Yunji sat down slowly. She opened her folder and pulled out several old documents. I wish I could, sir. But I've been checking our archives all night. The truth is, we lied. What do you mean we lied? About the humans being extinct. They weren't destroyed 200 years ago. They were driven away, far away to the edge of the galaxy. The government told everyone they were dead because it sounded better than admitting we couldn't catch them. Kiwu felt his stomach drop. Show me. Yunji spread the documents on his desk. These are classified reports from the war. The humans didn't fight like other races. When we attacked their worlds, they didn't try to defend them. Instead, they ran, but not in panic. They had a plan. She pointed to one document. They took everything they could carry. Ships, supplies, people, even animals and plants. Then they disappeared into the outer rim where our scouts couldn't follow. Why couldn't we follow them? The outer rim is dangerous, sir. Strange radiation, gravity storms, space that bends in impossible ways. Our ships couldn't handle it. We assumed the humans would die out there. Kiwu stared at the papers, but they didn't. No, sir. They didn't. His communication device beeped. Admiral, urgent message from Fleet Command. More human ships have been spotted. Kiwu grabbed the device. Where? 12 different systems, sir, all along the outer border. The ships appear, send a message, then disappear. What kind of message? The same one, sir. They want their colonies back. They're giving us 1 week to respond. Kiwu stood up fast. 1 week? Who do they think they are? His door opened again. General Hyun-soo walked in, his face dark with anger. Kiwu, we have a problem. These humans, or whoever they are, just embarrassed 3 of my best captains. What happened? Captain Nam tried to capture one of their ships. He took 2 cruisers and surrounded it. The human ship didn't even fire back. It just left. Left how? It became invisible. Our sensors couldn't track it. Then it appeared behind Nam's ship and disabled all his weapons. No damage, no casualties. Just turned off everything that could hurt them. Hyun-soo sat down heavily. Then the human captain sent a message. She said, "We do not wish to fight, but we will defend ourselves. Please do not try this again." Kiwu felt cold. 3 ships against 1 and they lost without the enemy firing a shot? It gets worse. Captain Lee tried to follow one of their ships with his entire squadron. 8 vessels, our newest and fastest. The human ship led them on a chase. For 6 hours, our ships couldn't keep up. The human vessel was always just ahead like it was playing with them. Dr. Yoonji looked up from her files. "Sir, I think I know why they're so advanced." Both men turned to her. 200 years in the outer rim. Think about it. They had to survive in the most dangerous part of space. They had to build ships that could handle impossible conditions. They had to develop technology we can't even imagine. She pulled out another document. This is a report from one of our deep scouts sent 50 years ago. He claimed he saw strange lights moving in the outer rim. Ships that didn't match any known design. Command dismissed it as space madness. You think those were human ships? I think the humans have been watching us for decades, learning about us, studying our weaknesses. While we grew soft and comfortable ruling the galaxy, they were becoming something else. Kiwu's communication device beeped again. "Admiral, priority message coming in. It's from the human ship that contacted Commander Tae-min." "Put it through." The screen on Kiwu's wall lit up. Captain Sora appeared, the same calm woman from Taemin's report. "Admiral Kiwu," she said. "I am Captain Sora of the Terran Federation. I believe you received our message." Kiwu tried to look strong and confident. "I did, and I'm telling you now the Dominion does not negotiate with terrorists." Sora's expression didn't change. "We are not terrorists, Admiral. We are the rightful owners of 47 star systems that were taken from us. We want them back. Those systems belong to the Dominion now. We've held them for 2 centuries. You stole them," Sora replied simply. "But we are willing to discuss terms. We prefer peace to war." "And if we refuse?" For the first time, Sora smiled. It was not a warm smile. "Then you will learn why we survived 200 years in hell." The screen flickered. Suddenly it showed not just Sora but dozens of other ships, huge vessels, sleek and deadly looking, all around the Dominion capital system. "How many ships do you have?" Kiwu whispered. "Enough," Sora said. "We have been building for 2 centuries, Admiral. While you grew comfortable, we grew strong. While you made peace, we prepared for war." General Hyun-soo leaned forward. "What do you want?" "I already told you. Our colonies back. Our worlds. Our homes. And if we say yes, then we can discuss the future. Perhaps we can find a way to share this galaxy. And if we say no?" Sora's smile faded. "Then we will take what is ours." You have 1 week to decide. The screen went dark. The 3 Dominion officers sat in silence for a long moment. Finally, Dr. Yunji spoke. Admiral, I think we need to consider their offer. Consider it? General Hyun-soo stood up angrily. They're threatening the Dominion. We should call every fleet and destroy them. With what? Ki-woo asked quietly. They disabled 3 ships, without firing a shot. They outran 8 of our best vessels. They appeared in our most secure system without us detecting them. General, how do we fight an enemy we can't see coming? Hyun-soo opened his mouth to argue, then closed it. He had no answer. Ki-woo walked to his window and looked out at space. Somewhere out there, human ships were waiting, watching, planning. Doctor, I want you to find everything about the humans, everything we destroyed, everything we hid, everything we lied about. I want to know what we're really dealing with. Yes, sir. General, quietly start moving our fleets. Don't attack, but be ready. If these humans want a war, we'll give them one. And if they're too strong? Hyun-soo asked. Ki-woo turned back to face them. Then we learn what it means to negotiate with ghosts. Outside his window, stars twinkled in the darkness. But now Ki-woo wondered which of those lights might be human ships, watching and waiting for the Dominion's answer. The galaxy was about to change forever, and nobody knew if they were ready for what was coming. Marshal Wu Jin stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominion's pride. Around him, 500 warships waited in perfect formation, the largest battle fleet ever assembled by the Dominion. Sir, all ships report ready, said his aide, Commander Minho. Wu Jin smiled. He had spent 3 days gathering this fleet. Every available ship from 20 systems. Battleships, cruisers, destroyers, fighters. The humans would see this force and surrender immediately. Send the message to all captains, he ordered. Today, we end this human nonsense once and for all. The week was over. The humans had demanded their colonies back. The Dominion Council had voted. The answer was no. Now it was time to show these ghosts from the past who really ruled the galaxy. Human ships detected, sir, called the censor officer. 12 vessels, just like the report said. Wu Jin looked at his tactical display. 12 red dots sat in space near the planet Proxima. Just 12 ships against his 500, it would be over in minutes. Open a channel to the human fleet. Captain Sora appeared on his screen, as calm as ever. Marshal Wu Jin, she said. I see you brought friends. Surrender. Now, Wu Jin demanded. You are outnumbered 40-1. Your little trick of hiding from sensors won't work against this many ships. Sora tilted her head slightly. Marshal, do you know what we learned in 200 years of fighting in the Outer Rim? I don't care what you learned. Surrender or be destroyed. We learned that numbers don't always matter. Sometimes 12 is more than enough. Wu Jin cut the transmission. All ships, attack formation, destroy the human fleet. 500 Dominion warships moved forward like a wave of metal and fire. Their weapons charged, their shields powered up. It should have been beautiful. Then the humans moved. The 12 human ships didn't scatter like Wu Jin expected. They didn't run. Instead, they flowed together like water, forming a perfect line. Then they did something impossible. They disappeared. Where did they go? Wu Jin shouted. I don't know, sir. Sensors show nothing. They have to be somewhere. Find them. 3 seconds later, the human ships reappeared, but not where they had been. They were inside the Dominion formation, scattered among Wu Jin's fleet like wolves. Among sheep. How did they get there? Minho whispered. Before anyone could answer, the humans opened fire. Wu Jin had seen many space battles. He knew what weapons looked like. Lasers were red or blue beams. Missiles were bright streaks. Plasma cannons made green flashes. The human weapons looked like nothing he had ever seen. They fired what looked like purple lightning that bent and twisted through space. The energy beams went around Dominion shields instead of hitting them. They struck the ships behind the shields, tearing through armor like it was paper. Sir, we're losing ships, the communications officer yelled. 10, 15, 20 ships destroyed. Return fire. All ships, return fire. The Dominion fleet fired everything they had. Thousands of weapons lit up space with deadly light. But when the flashes faded, the human ships were gone again. They reappeared on the other side of the fleet and fired again. More purple lightning. More Dominion ships exploding. "They're teleporting," Minho said. "They can appear anywhere they want." "That's impossible, sir. Another 20 ships destroyed. The humans haven't lost a single vessel." Wu Jin watched his perfect battle plan fall apart. His ships couldn't hit targets that could vanish and reappear anywhere. But the humans could strike from any direction at any time. One of the human ships appeared right next to his flagship. For a moment, Wu Jin thought he was dead, but the ship didn't fire. Instead, it just sat there, as if it was watching him. "Fire, at it," he screamed. "Everything we have." The Dominion's Pride and 6 nearby ships fired at the human vessel. Lasers, missiles, plasma cannons, everything. The human ship's shields flashed once, then held firm. Not a scratch. Then the human ship fired back. The purple lightning hit the Dominion's Pride and something terrible happened. The ship's systems began shutting down one by one. Weapons offline, shields offline, engines offline. Life support flickering. But the ship wasn't destroyed. The crew wasn't killed. They were just helpless. "What did they do to us?" Minho asked, his voice shaking. Through the viewports, they could see the battle continuing, human ships appearing and disappearing like ghosts, more Dominion vessels exploding or going dark. The once mighty fleet was being torn apart. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission," the communications officer said. "It's from the human ship next to us." "Put it on screen." Captain Sora appeared again. Behind her, Wu Jin could see her bridge. It was bright and clean, with strange displays showing information he couldn't understand. "Marshal," she said quietly. "Do you understand now?" Wu Jin tried to speak, but no words came out. "200 years ago, your people drove us away," Sora continued. "You thought you had won. You thought we would die in the darkness." She paused, looking directly at him. "But the darkness taught us things. We learned to fight enemies you cannot imagine. We learned to build ships that could survive. Anything, we learned to become more than human." On his tactical display, Wu Jin watched another 50 ships go dark. His great fleet was becoming a graveyard. "We didn't want this war, Marshal. We asked for peace. We offered to negotiate, but you chose violence." "Please," Wu Jin whispered, "stop this." "We could destroy every ship in your fleet," Sora said, "but we won't. We are not like you. We don't kill unless we must." Around them, the human ship stopped firing. The battle was over. Of 500 Dominion warships, only 80 were still working. The rest were either destroyed or disabled. "Your empire will receive our terms tomorrow," Sora said. "This time, I suggest you listen." The transmission ended. The human ship next to them disappeared. Wu Jin stood in the darkness of his powerless flagship, surrounded by the wreckage of his fleet. His aide, Minho, was crying quietly. "Sir," the communications officer said softly, "Command is asking for a status report. What should I tell them?" Wu Jin looked out at the floating debris that had once been proud Dominion warships. He thought about the families who would never see their loved ones again. He thought about the Empire's greatest fleet, destroyed in 6 hours by just 12 enemy ships. "Tell them," he said slowly, "that we have learned what happens when you wake sleeping giants." Far away on Earth, in a room overlooking the restored ruins of an ancient city, President Da-un read the battle report. She felt no joy in the victory. Only sadness that it had been necessary. "Prepare my ship," she told her aide. "It's time to go speak with the Dominion Council personally." "Are you sure that's wise, Madam President?" Da-un looked out at the stars. "Someone needs to explain to them what humanity has become, and what we're willing to do to come home." The war was over before it had truly begun. Now came the harder part, building peace from the ashes of defeat. Emperor Jae-sung sat on his golden throne, but he felt anything but powerful. Around him, his council members whispered nervously. The news from the battle was impossible to believe. 500 ships, he said quietly. Our greatest fleet. destroyed by 12 enemy vessels. General Hyun-soo stood before him, his uniform torn and dirty. He had escaped the battle on one of the few working ships. Your Majesty, they're not using normal technology. Their ships can disappear and reappear anywhere. Their weapons go through our shields like they don't exist, and their defenses, nothing we have can hurt them. What do they want? The Emperor asked. They're sending someone to talk, Admiral Kiwoo reported. A President Da-un. She's coming here to the capital. The Emperor felt cold. Here? To our most protected system? Yes, Your Majesty. Her ship appeared in our outer sensors this morning. It's bigger than anything we've ever seen. Through the palace windows they could see it in the sky. The human ship hung in space above the capital planet like a dark moon. It was at least 10 times larger than the biggest Dominion vessel. Strange lights moved across its surface in patterns that hurt to look at. How many people does it carry? Asked Dr. Yoonji. Our best guess is 50,000, Kiwoo replied. It's not just a ship. It's like a flying city. The communication system beeped. Your Majesty, the human president is requesting permission to come down to the palace. Emperor Jae-sung looked at his advisors. They all looked scared. Let her come, he said finally. But full security. I want guards everywhere. An hour later, a small human shuttle landed in the palace courtyard. It was sleek and quiet, making no sound as it touched down. The door opened with a soft hiss. President Da-un stepped out. She looked human, but something was different. Her eyes were brighter than normal human eyes. Her movements were too smooth, too perfect. When she walked, she seemed to flow rather than step. Behind her came 2 guards. They looked even stranger. Their skin had a faint shimmer, like metal, under sunlight. Their eyes glowed softly in the shadow of their helmets. Your Majesty, Da-un said, bowing slightly. Thank you for agreeing to meet. Emperor Jae-sung studied her carefully. You look human, but you're not, are you? Da-un smiled. We are human, but we are also more than human. 200 years in the Outer Rim changed us in ways your people cannot imagine. She gestured to her guards. Commander Soo-jin here was born in the gravity storms of the Void Nebula. Her bones are 3 times stronger than old human bones. Her reflexes are 10 times faster. Soo-jin nodded politely. Her movement was liquid smooth. And Captain Yuna was raised on a world where the air was poison. Her lungs can filter toxins that would kill a normal person instantly. Her blood carries oxygen so efficiently, she could survive in space for hours without a suit. The Emperor felt his mouth go dry. What happened to you out there? We adapted, Da-un said simply. When you drove us to the edge of space, we had 2 choices. Die, or become something that could survive anywhere. She walked to the window and looked up at her ship. We found worlds where gravity was wrong, planets where the air was acid, star systems where radiation should have killed us. But we didn't die. We changed. Dr. Yoonji leaned forward. Changed how? Our children were born different, stronger, faster, better able to handle the impossible conditions. Each generation adapted more. After 50 generations, we were no longer the same species that left Earth. Da-un turned back to face them. But we kept our memories, our culture, our love for the worlds we lost. We never forgot who we were, even as we became something new. The ships, Admiral Kiwoo said, how do they work? We learned to work with our technology instead of just using it. Our minds can connect directly to our computers. Our thoughts control our ships. When we want to move, the ship moves. When we want to hide, it becomes invisible. She tapped her temple. We are not just the crew of our vessels. We are part of them. General Hyun-soo stood up angrily. Impossible. No organic mind can interface with a computer. Commander Soo-jin turned to look at him. Her eyes began to glow brighter. Suddenly, every electronic device in the room turned on by itself. Lights flashed, screens showed data. The air conditioning hummed louder. Then everything went back to normal. Nothing is impossible, Soo-jin said quietly, when you have had 2 centuries to learn. Emperor Jae-sung felt sweat on his forehead. These were not the humans from the history books. These were something new, something beyond what his empire could understand or fight. "What do you want from us?" he asked. Da-un sat down across from him. 47 star systems. The worlds that were taken from us. We want them back. Those systems have been ours for 200 years. Millions of Dominion citizens live there now. We know. We have been watching. We don't want to hurt innocent people. Those who wish to stay can stay. Those who wish to leave will be helped to find new homes. And in return, peace, trade, cooperation. The galaxy is big enough for both our peoples. Dr. Yunji spoke carefully. What if we refuse? Dayun's expression didn't change, but somehow the room felt colder. Then we take what is ours by force, but not just the 47 systems. We would need more room for the refugees we create, perhaps 100 systems, maybe 200. She stood up. Your Majesty, we came here offering friendship. We showed you mercy in battle when we could have destroyed your entire fleet. We are trying to be reasonable. But if we must choose between peace and our people's survival, we will choose survival. And we have become very, very good at surviving. The Emperor looked at his advisors. They all had the same expression. Fear. How long do we have to decide? He asked. 3 days, Da-un replied. After that, we begin taking our worlds back with or without your permission. She walked toward the door, then stopped. Your Majesty, I want you to understand something. We are not your enemies. We are your children grown up and come home. We want to be part of this galaxy again. But we will not be anyone's slaves ever, again. The shuttle door closed behind her with a soft whisper. Moments later, it was gone, rising silently toward the massive ship waiting in orbit. Emperor Jae-sung sat in silence for a long time. Finally, he spoke. Gentlemen, I think we need to discuss terms. Outside, the human ship waited like a patient giant, its strange lights pulsing slowly in the darkness of space. 6 months later, Commander Taemin stood on the observation deck of the space station New Geneva. Below him, the planet Earth turned slowly in space. It was beautiful and terrible at the same time. Terrible because he could see the scars. Dark, patches where great cities had once stood, empty oceans where life had been burned away. The planet still carried the wounds from 200 years ago. Beautiful, because it was healing. Green was returning to the Deadlands. New cities were rising from the ashes of the old ones. And in the orbital shipyards around the planet, human and Dominion ships worked side by side. It's amazing, isn't it? Said a voice behind him. Taemin turned. Captain Sora walked up to join him at the window. She looked different now than she had during their first meeting. Less like a warrior, more like a teacher. I never thought I would see Earth, Taemin said. In school, they told us it was a dead world, a place of ghosts and poison. It was, Sora replied. We spent the first year just making it safe to breathe again. But this planet is tough. Life wants to return here. She pointed to a green patch growing near what had once been a great city. My grandmother was born here, in a place called Seoul. She used to tell me stories about cherry blossoms and autumn leaves. I never thought I would see them with my own eyes. The Treaty of New Terra, Taemin said. I still can't believe we signed it. The treaty had shocked everyone. 47 systems returned to human control. Recognition of the Terran Federation as an equal power. Most surprising of all, a plan for cooperation between the two governments. Your emperor is wiser than we expected, Sora said. He could have chosen war. His people would have supported him, and you would have won. Yes, but at what cost? War destroys everything it touches. Peace builds something better. Through the station speakers came an announcement. All personnel report to stations. The first joint patrol is launching in 1 hour. Taemin and Sora walked toward the docking bay. Around them, human and Dominion officers worked together, preparing ships for their mission. It should have been strange to see former enemies side by side. Instead, it felt natural. Captain Nare is commanding the Dominion squadron, Taemin said. She's one of our best. And Admiral Haiwan will lead our ships. This patrol will cover the border regions where pirates have been causing trouble. They entered the docking bay. 2 fleets waited there. The Dominion ships were large and powerful, built for strength and durability. The human ships were smaller, but more advanced, their dark hulls seeming to drink in the light. "Commander Taemin," called a voice. Captain Nare approached them, wearing the new joint patrol uniform. It combined elements from both militaries. "Captain Nare, this is Captain Sora of the Terran Federation." The 2 women studied each other for a moment, then Nare bowed slightly. "Captain Sora, I've heard many stories about you." "Only the good ones, I hope," Sora replied with a smile. "Actually, yes. My crew is excited to work with your people. We want to learn about your technology, and we want to learn about your tactics. The Dominion has experience in areas we've never explored." Taemin watched them talk and felt something he hadn't expected. Hope. For the first time in months, the future seemed bright. "Commander," Sora said, "would you like to see something special?" She led them to a viewport overlooking the planet. "Look there, near the southern continent." Taemin looked where she pointed. He saw a large construction project still in its early stages. Huge machines were reshaping the land, building something massive. "What is it?" "A city," Sora said. "But not just any city. It's being built by humans and Dominion citizens working together. A place where both our peoples can live side by side." "Is that possible?" Nare asked. "We're about to find out. The first families will move in next year. Some are human refugees returning home. Others are Dominion citizens who want to try something new." She smiled. "There will be schools where human and Dominion children learn together. Markets where both cultures trade. Parks where everyone can enjoy the restored Earth environment." "What will you call it?" Taemin asked. "Hope," Sora said simply. "The City of Hope." A young voice called out across the docking bay. "Mama! Mama!" They turned to see a small human girl running toward Sora. She was maybe 6 years old with bright eyes and dark hair. Behind her ran a Dominion boy about the same age, laughing as he tried to keep up. "Yujin," Sora said, catching the girl in a hug. "What are you doing here?" "Uncle Minho brought us to see the ships. Look, I made a friend." The Dominion boy stopped next to them, breathing hard but smiling. "I'm Dongwu," he said politely. "My dad works on the station." "This is my daughter," Sora said to Taemin and Nare. Yujin was born out in the Rim, on a ship traveling between stars. She's never lived on a planet before. "Are you excited about moving to Earth?" Nare asked the girl. "Yes. Uncle Minho says there are animals there, real animals that run around and make sounds, and trees that change colors." Dongwu nodded enthusiastically. "My dad says we might move there too. He wants to help build the new city." Taemin watched the 2 children chattering together, switching between human and Dominion languages without thinking about it. These kids didn't see enemies when they looked at each other. They just saw friends. "This is how it starts," Sora said quietly. "Not with treaties or battles, with children who grow up thinking peace is normal." The launch alarm sounded. The joint patrol was ready to depart. "I should go," Nare said. "My ship is waiting." "And I need to get to the command center," Sora added. She kissed her daughter's forehead. "Be good for Uncle Minho." As they walked toward their ships, Taemin felt his communication device buzz. A message from Admiral Kiwu. "Early reports from the Outer Rim colonies are very positive. Human refugees are integrating well with existing populations. Several worlds have requested Terran Federation technology to help with environmental problems." Taemin smiled. 6 months ago, he had thought his world was ending when humans returned. Now he couldn't imagine the galaxy without them. Through the station's windows, he could see the joint patrol launching, human and Dominion ships flying together, protecting the peace they had all worked so hard to build. The galaxy was changing. It was becoming something better than it had been before, a place where different peoples could work together instead of fighting. As the ships disappeared into hyperspace, Taemin heard laughter behind him. Yujin and Dongwu were playing with a toy spaceship, taking turns being the pilot. Where are we going? Dongwu asked. To explore new worlds, Yu Jin said. To find new friends. Together? Together. Taemin nodded to himself. The future was in good hands.